everyone, and welcome back to The Split Decision. I'm Elias Blanco. Each week we look at the biggest fights and headlines throughout the past week in boxing. And it feels like I'm having a bit of boxing hangover because not much happened this week, but it's okay because we'll still cover everything that we can this week because we are The Split Decision. So without further ado, let's get to the fights. So Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing are pretty dominant in the UK, but they're looking to grow their prospect look over in the States. And over the weekend, two of their biggest prospects were in action. In the main event, Richardson Hitchins edged out a close but controversial decision against Gustavo Lemos. Now, this was not an impressive performance by Hitchins. At times, it seemed like he couldn't get things going, and Lemos' pressure put Hitchins in a bit of trouble. It's the first time where it felt like Hitchins had to stand his ground and sit down on his punches. That being said, Hitchins improves to 17-0, is now the mandatory for the IBF Junior Welterweight title, which is currently held by Subriel Matias. In the co-main event, Diego Pacheco stays undefeated, beating Sean McCalman by unanimous decision. Pacheco faced some adversity in the beginning, getting rocked with some clean shots in the second round. But in the middle of the fight, Pacheco started to pick up the pace, and from there he controlled the fight. Pacheco improves to 21-0 and is in line now for a marquee fight. Alright, so let's take a look at some other fight results from this past week. We start from last Wednesday over in Australia. Jackson England beat Jamel Herring by a razor-thin split decision. This was a low-output fight, not much was going on, but this was also Jamel Herring's last run at a world title shot. I think with this loss, it puts any hopes of a world title shot to an end, so that's unfortunate, but it's a good win for the Aussie. On Friday, Eric Rosa, the undefeated little man, beat Udell Reyes by unanimous decision. Now, he is moving up to junior flyweight. I think he's going to do great things there. I think that, him being undefeated, he just couldn't make strawweight anymore. He's a young man, and as you get older, you just naturally pile on some weight. I think he's going to fit in well in that junior flyweight division. Guys like Kenshiro Taraji, Jonathan Gonzalez, Adrian Curiel, those guys are going to put on some fantastic fantasy matchups. I think that's going to be someone to look out for in the junior flyweight division. On Saturday, Bakram Murtalaziev defeated Golden Jack Kolkai to win the vacant IBF Junior Middleweight title. Listen, with this win, it puts Jamel Charlo's undisputed title reign at an end. He has no more belts. He only has the Ring Magazine belts. Congratulations to Bakram Murtalaziev. He was in a close battle, a slugfest with Jack Kolkai, and he was able to come out on top, and now he is a champion at 154. And then on that Richardson Hitchins and Diego Pacheco card, Galal Lafai stopped Agustin Gauto in the 8th round. I think Galal Lafai is a flyweight contender, a gold medalist at the Tokyo Olympics. He is cocky, he is brash, he is slick, he is powerful. I'm excited to see what Lafai does next. All right, and let's take a look at the upcoming fights this week. First, we start on Wednesday. Pro Box with their Wednesday night fights. Angelo Leo versus Eduardo Baez. This is a featherweight matchup. And listen, Angelo Leo is coming up in the ranks. I believe he is ranked in the top 15 in the IBF. Listen, Pro Box puts on great fights, so I'm looking forward to that. But on Thursday, over in Canada, Eric Banzanyam is back in action. Listen, Eye of the Tiger has a good domestic Canadian boxer on their hands in Eric Banzanyam. Someone that can hit hard, someone who is ranked in the top 10 in the super middleweight division. I think you shouldn't miss that one. On Saturday, though, over in the UK, Jordan Gill versus Selfa Barrett. This is a junior lightweight contest. I think you should watch this one. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Jordan Gill just recently stopped Michael Conlon, so he's coming off a major win. And Zelfa Barrett's always in entertaining fights. I like his fighting style a lot. He's slick, he's nimble. This should be an interesting matchup. But then, on Saturday night, over on Top Rank in the States, Jared Anderson is back in action. Top Rank putting on banger cards lately, but Jared Anderson's back in action against Riyad Murney. Jared Anderson, we all know, the big baby, undefeated, heavy hands, Americans' next best hope at heavyweight. And then Riyad Murney, someone who was very well-contested contender at cruiserweight, moving up to heavyweight, having fairly big success, but this is a big step up for him fighting big baby Jared Anderson. So we'll see how this matchup is. But in the co-main event, the Nigerian Nightmare, F.A. Ajagba, is back in action as well. That I am looking forward to. I think F.A. Ajagba is a scary puncher. He is a scary, scary puncher, knocking people out, lights out cold. Listen, this is a big upgrade from this past week in boxing. So I'm excited for these fights. I'm probably going to watch all of these because, you know, this was a bit of a lackluster week in boxing. But next week, I think this is going to be a big one. Newly crowned unified junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora has plenty of suitors following his upset win last week against Tim Tszyu. Of course, the rematch with Tszyu is there, along with the fight against Errol Spence Jr. But the WBO have already jumped the gun on who should fight the Towering Inferno next. The sanctioning body has officially ordered Fundora to defend the WBO and WBC titles against Terence Crawford. The parties have until April 25th to agree to a deal, and then a purse bid will follow. So a very interesting matchup if that fight eventually gets made. On one side, you have the newly crowned champ who can keep you at range with his long reach, but also can fight on the inside. And then you have Terence Crawford, arguably the best boxer in the world today. A switch hitter with God-given power in both hands, and someone who is dynamic in every aspect of the game. It'd be interesting to see how Crawford would deal with the size disadvantage against Sebastian Fundora. And it would be interesting how Fundora would deal with the speed and power of Terence Crawford. There's a lot of moving parts at 154, and we'll just have to wait and see what announcements comes next. Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin's highly anticipated bout is most likely slated for the summer. Davis has indicated that the fight is being planned for June 22nd in Houston, Texas. This fight will be for Davis's WBA lightweight title. Both boxers are undefeated and currently ranked in the top 5 of the division. I am excited for this matchup. Gervonta Davis, a hard hitter, and Frank Martin, one of Derrick James's prized pupils. This is going to be an interesting matchup. The lower weight divisions continue to put on banger matches. It is reported that a junior bantamweight unification bout between WBA champion Kazuto Ioka and IBF champ Fernando Martinez is in the works. Now, both boxers are currently ranked in the top 3 of the Ring magazine's ratings, and this announcement comes after another big fight in the division became official in Juan Francisco Estrada versus Bam Rodriguez. Ioka versus Martinez is being targeted for the first week of July in Japan. For the past year, Anthony Joshua has been on a roll, but his boxing run may come to an end sooner rather than later. Joshua has said that he plans to retire from boxing in 2 years when he turns 37 years old. Now, there's still a lot of time for Joshua to make a few big fights, but 2 years can go by like that. And if he's true to his word and he does retire, there will be a big void to fill in the heavyweight division. That being said, when Anthony Joshua does retire, he is certified to be a future Hall of Famer. It looks like one of Eddie Hearn's options for the 5-on-5 against Queensberry won't be ready in time. Hearn has now said that WBA featherweight champion Raymond Ford is unlikely to be ready in time for the event. Hearns has also said Lee Wood and Josh Warrington are named as other options at 126. Now, as a reminder, the Queensberry versus Matchroom event is June 1st in Saudi Arabia. And let's hope to God that the option that Eddie Hearn chooses is not Josh Warrington. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the championship round where we ran about the biggest topics in the past week in boxing. And this week goes to Adam Azim. Now, the undefeated British prospect is making a lot of headlines lately, but it's all for the wrong reasons. Earlier in the week, Azim vacated his European junior welterweight title after being ordered to fight undefeated fellow countryman Dalton Smith. Instead, Azim is opting for another fight. He has confirmed that he's now signed a contract to fight the undefeated Harlem Eubank. Now, Harlem is the son of legendary boxer Chris Eubank Sr. and is currently 19-0. So that being said, Azim versus Eubank is not a bad matchup in any sense. I mean, it's two undefeated boxers who have solid backings from their promoters, but the problem in this situation is that Azim vacated his title after the board ordered a fight against a tougher opponent in Dalton Smith. So, although I like Adam Azim and I think he's a promising boxer in the UK, somebody get the quacker because we have a gentleman's duck over in the UK. Guys, that is all the time we have for fights today. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're going to have videos every Monday. I know this week was a bit short, but listen, boxing played April Fools on us. I don't know what to tell you. They played April Fools. They played a prank on us. But next week we get back on track with all the action. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Elias Blanco, and I'm out.